They printed my name in cheap gold foil. Asterisk low-educated asterisk, they wrote. Not even with the dignity of lowercase bold. Centered it right there, under father of the groom. I stood at my assigned table, placed like a guard beside it. Like a placeholder, not family. Her side of the family filled the seats across. Lawyers, professors, smug bureaucrats with tight smiles and expensive watches. One of them chuckled before I even sat down. Another leaned just enough to whisper. Guess anyone can raise a kid these days. I stood frozen, hands trembling. My eyes fixed on the chair I had never imagined would humiliate me. My own son, my blood, stood only feet away, adjusting his cufflinks like nothing happened, laughing with his new in-laws like I wasn't even there. I should have walked out then. I should have saved my dignity. But I didn't. Not yet. He was only 3 when she left. No letter. No goodbye. Just a pile of unpaid bills, a crib full of diapers, and a silence that swallowed the walls of our tiny home. I took 2 jobs, construction by day, janitor by night. Scrubbed floors until my knuckles cracked. Ate cold rice off plastic plates while he slept beside me on a mattress someone else had thrown away. I never finished school, barely made it past the 10th grade. But I taught him the kind of lessons that don't come with a diploma: discipline, resilience, how to look a man in the eye without flinching, how to keep your chin level, never bowed, never raised. When he graduated with honors, I sat quietly in the back row of the auditorium. Didn't want to embarrass him. He never said I would, but I knew. Still, I clapped louder than anyone else there. Even then the signs had begun, subtle but steady. He stopped calling me Dad, switched to Pops, then eventually just Hey. Whenever I asked about his work, he'd give me half a smile and say, "You wouldn't get it." I nodded and pretended that maybe this was just what growing up looked like. Then one afternoon, I decided to surprise him. Brought him a hot lunch, homemade stir-fry still warm. The receptionist looked confused, said I wasn't on the approved list of visitors. I heard laughter from the glass-walled conference room. Her laugh. The bride's. The one who always looked at me like I was something sticky she'd stepped on. He saw me through the glass but didn't come out. Didn't wave. Didn't even smile. When I finally stepped into the room, he barely glanced up. Looked at the food like it was an inconvenience. When I reached for the plate, he flinched, turned away, as if my touch could stain him. I stood still for a moment, then quietly straightened my jacket, fingers grazing the nameplate that had mocked me from the beginning. I turned to leave. No anger. No tears. Just the ache of knowing I didn't belong. And then I heard him. His voice behind me, calm and commanding. "Dad, let's go home." Not sorry. Not apologetic. Like he was doing me a favor. I didn't look back. I left alone. But I didn't go home. Not yet. They had no idea who really built the foundation under their empire. While he was busy in classrooms, I was building the future with my own hands. Laying fiber optics, pouring concrete for data centers, wiring server rooms. I learned more about tech than he ever gave me credit for. Quietly, in one harsh winter, I made an investment. A favor to a friend about to lose everything. A small cybersecurity firm. That favor turned into 38% ownership. Years later, that same firm landed a contract with his company. The shiny startup he and his wife built. The one that had just secured a lucrative government deal. A deal already attracting quiet federal scrutiny over shady data practices. I didn't need to hack anything. I only needed to allow discovery. First came the internal audit, then subpoenas, then whistleblowers. Suddenly, every falsified engagement number, every manipulated algorithm, evidence of how they had inflated success, spilled into the open. Her father tried to intervene, called in favors, pulled strings. I watched him squirm on live television during a Senate hearing, pale and sweating through his tailored suit. The company's valuation dropped within days. He called me once. I didn't answer. Instead, I called the cybersecurity firm, told them to terminate the contract, asterisk publicly star, then leaked the ethical breach report. It hit every major tech news site. Investors ran. Partners vanished. Employees were laid off by the dozens. And I remained silent. Unseen. Anonymous. The ghost they had laughed at. 3 weeks later, he came to my old house. Not the condo I bought for him after graduation. Not the sleek apartment I paid rent on when he interned. My house. The one with uneven floors, cracked paint, and the scent of warm rice always in the air. He stood at the gate like a child again. No suit. No watch. Just tired eyes and guilt sitting heavy on his shoulders. I didn't know, he said. They made the card without telling me. I looked at him. You let them laugh. He nodded. No defense. No excuse. I stepped aside. Let him in. Not out of forgiveness, but because sometimes silence cuts deeper than fury. He lives here now. No titles. No fortune. No pretense. He's learning how to exist without applause. And me, I still go to work. Not because I have to, but because I love the feel of earth in my hands. The weight of something real. I'm not a fake dad. I'm the man who raised a boy from dust and taught him how to stand. And then taught him what happens when you forget who built the ground beneath your feet. That in the end was the real education.